Hello and welcome to this week's AI Newsroom. I think we stick to the name, right? I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah. Svetlana, introduce us to what we're talking about today.
Yeah. This is an exciting topic because I think in the last week we have had a lot of change. Releases with models and I think new use cases for video and audio. So last week we talked about Udio. I think that was an awesome release. Everything in like multimedia world is right now is happening is really exciting. So if you're interested in listening to that, we do have an episode that we covered last week. But today we'll be talking about Llama 3 release and the impact that that's created in the market, which I think you'll be fascinated to hear. We're going to talk about Microsoft Vasa 1. And that's all about, kind of uniting a still image with audio and then make it live. We talk about alive. You make it alive. Yes, with AI. We also cover Adobe and them partnering with Sora and what that might look like. I think we're going to do a quick demo demonstrating some of the possibilities of what they're actually selling right now. I think you'll be really impressed. And the last topic, last but not least, that I think hopefully we'll have time to cover, but the innovations with Boston Dynamics, because they've been quiet for some time. And I think this is a topic that you've kind of brought to the table, Edgar. So I am too really curious to kind of see what they have happening kind of in their side of the world. So yeah, with that said, should we dive into Llama 3 release?
Let's do that. So let me quickly share my screen. And let's do tab by tab today.
Music break while we wait.
That's authentic. Okay, so build the future of AI with Meta Llama 3. First of all, everyone has to have the word future in their announcements, right?
Oh yeah, that's the keyword you got to include in your releases, of course.
Otherwise, you'll burn. So Llama 3. Llama released the first Llama 3 models. This will be, as far as I understood, a series of models. One of which will be 405 billion parameters, and they also work with multimodality and long context ranges. That's all that we didn't get. What we did get, though, is we get Llama 3 as an 8 billion small model and 70 billion bigger model. And especially the 70 billion is performing so well that it's jaw-dropping, basically. So if you look at this, Meta Llama 3 with 70 billion is like trading blows in most of the categories, sometimes even exceeding them. With Gemini Pro 1.5, which was just released 2 weeks ago, and it's a huge model. That's a pretty huge deal. And also, if you look at the 8 billion model, it basically crushes the competition in the same space in terms of model size. It's highly impressive. How did Meta do this? They updated the architecture, the underlying architecture of the model itself, and they trained on 15 trillion or 1.5 trillion tokens, which is like a huge amount. 15 trillion tokens of data. A training data set 7 times larger than what was used for Llama 2, and including 4 times more code. So there were also with Llama 2 already code Llama and encoding models, which were already pretty interesting, and I'm really looking forward to see what the community will do with such a capable open source model. But that's.
Did they mention? Do you know what type of data? I mean, what type of data they use? Was it just web, or was it based on Facebook, Instagram, whatever content that they've?
They have so many social media platforms under the belt. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's coming from them. But what they actually did, and what I understood from also the Zuckerberg interview about that, they used a lot of quality data and really got the data dialed in to be so good. they doubled the context, which was 4K before, and it's now 8K. Also, if you look in the internet, like you have Llama 2 based models which have larger context length. So this is like really the start. So if you look at Llama 2 and what happened there and where the community pushed this stuff is, there's a lot more to expect. But yeah, that's that for now.
I'll just mention that I think it's not the elephant in the room, but amongst others, other models and kind of companies that offer LLMs, I think Meta right now is standing up as the elephant in the room because they're one of the few open source models which having such a powerful LLM available for developers. I mean, look at that community and the potential.
I think it's also maybe to clarify that it's not open source. It's open.
Oh, weights. It's not.
Yeah,
so it does not follow the Llama 2.
No, it would be open source if they would source out the training data too. So, like in the definition of open source, it is not open source, and it also has kind of a permissive open usage license because if you're like too big, you're not allowed to use it. But too big means like 100 million users or so. And also, everything
they do advertise it as open source, so
like every model you build from Llama 2 and Llama 3, you have to put Llama in front of it or something. So there's a lot of stuff going in. So it's not open source in like the usual sense. Neither is any other open model like Mixtral or you name it. They are mostly open weights, and the community is mostly talking about open weights now.
Yeah, so there's some caveats. Yeah, I didn't realize that there was nuances. But one thing that I also mentioned is, I think this release also created some, shakeup in the market. So just NVIDIA alone, stock tumbled by 10%.
I think you if we look at NVIDIA stock.
Oh, you're going to pull it up? Yeah.
It's down 4% today. Are the markets open today? Like, how do they lose today? Okay. But yeah, if you look at the last 5 days, it kind of got a hit. And 10% if you look at the month. So yeah. Still high. So that's that. But yeah.
It's clearly an event. Yeah. So it nicely coincides with Llama 3 release and states that it's the worst performance NVIDIA has had since March of 2020. So raising over $200 billion from its market valuation in a single day.
So some stuff to add to that. So Meta Llama Guard 2 is something they also introduced, which is kind of the alignment stuff that they do for building responsible AI. That's what they always say. Responsible usage guide, acceptable use policy. A model card. So there's a lot of stuff. So you can request the model, you can download it, but you have to accept the terms of service, basically. And why is NVIDIA tanking, you might ask? So that's an interesting point, and that's basically why this whole stuff is so interesting, because this is a 70 billion model, which outperforms the first GPT-4 model, which is 1.8 trillion token parameters. So like it's a huge leap, like really a huge, and it will enable applications they just were not practical until now, because now 70 billion not only means that it's cheaper to operate, it means you can operate it locally or you're on your company server, wherever. And so you can operate a local model with the power of GPT-4 or at least close, but even close is enough. So it's really impressive. I'm really hyped about that. Also looking forward to try to build with it. Really good stuff from Facebook here. And it's cost efficient. There's less latency, and if you combine it with something like Grok, the API, I might even show it quickly. Why not use the option to of the screen share? So if I give it like an instruction, I think I have it somewhere here. Write the game Snake and Python. That's how fast it is. It's just like it's done. So
Wow.
if you think
Have
about
you tested it, by the way? Did you did you actually put in the code and
yeah,
get it to work?
It's like this like this one actually not, but I've tested it on some other occasions and also seen YouTubers test it, and it worked pretty well. So
Nice.
yeah, in general, like the whole Llama stuff, I was even wondering why they didn't put GPT in their comparisons, because the community did compare them, and it is close to GPT-4 performance. It beats Claude Sonnet at a lot of benchmarks, which is also like a much larger version of Claude 3. And yeah, good work, Facebook, like really good work. Exciting for that. Looking at what Facebook does, they also said they will release a 405 billion model and following, which are still in training. But yeah, this will shake up the industry. I think it also will force OpenAI to release earlier than they might have wanted for the GPT-5.
And maybe one of the, I think we talked about this a little bit, but I do think that the consequence of this and like the adoption, hopefully, again, I'm projecting a wider adoption of Llama 3, given that it's open weights, open source. They're calling it open source, but whatever.
Yeah.
I think the wider adoption, I think, will pressure some of these other companies to convert their offerings or have some of their models being open source as well, just to compete kind of in the space for that attention. But yeah, we'll see. But I think that this is really promising, and I'm really excited to giving this a whirl. I'd love to hear what comes out of your testing too, Edgar.
Yeah, definitely. I might share some videos on that.
Should we go to the next topic? Microsoft.
Also huge. It wasn't an announcement. It was more a research publication. So Microsoft had Vasa 1, or however they call it, Vasa 1, and lifelike audio-driven talking faces generated in real time. Sounds creepy. If you think about it, it is a bit. But if you look at the realism it produces, you kind of get how huge this is. And it's not even complicated. So what they basically did was, sorry, I was not.
On the wrong page.
Yeah. So this is the Vasa 1 lifelike audio-driven talking faces. And yeah, if you look at the images, like, okay, there is a woman doing some expressions. But where this was coming from was this single image, an audio clip, and you can give it optional control signals for like at one point like be excited or something, and it like does more expressions with that, but that's optional. The rest is just from training on video data, and how this then looks is it's like this. So they gave an image.
So, sometimes nothing happens, and sometimes everything happens all at once, and you just gotta deal with it. And it's also
Could you make it bigger?
strange to both be extremely worried about different things and have your anxiety levels like peak to the highest they've ever been, and then also be extremely happy and grateful.
If you look really closely,
that you were able to
you
buy
of course notice some inconsistencies.
It's all these conflicting emotions. They had their way with me. Let's just say I had so many opportunities to practice what I preach. So I tried my best to take good care of myself. I tried my best to stay mindful.
Yeah, and it just works with basically every image.
The letter H, so the sound at the beginning. It depends what country you're from, but many native languages have a problem.
And what they basically think is like, integrating this in Teams and then being able to just take a photo and animate someone. The applications of that also huge if you ask me. Yeah.
The quality, of the output is amazing. Again, just think about what they're doing. They took an image, so you take a screenshot of you, and you pre-record audio, and you layer it, or you basically give it to Vasa 1, and it animates it like without any shots. And if you notice kind of the nuances in the video, like the eyes kind of look to the side, smiles, again, use of teeth. So there's a lot kind of happening kind of in the shot, but it's
the
amazing.
eye movement and the looking direction is also interesting, because they have these instructions which you optionally can give in, which like
I would say that we as readers are not meant to look at
look
him
in the other direction,
in any other way,
and it just renders
disdain,
this
especially in how he
in that
treats
way.
his daughter. Okay, but of course he is able to clearly see through Morris, and he.
So especially like the third one looks like basically from an interview where she's looking to the interviewer and the camera is beside that, which is like a usual interview situation. I personally, I would love to produce content with generated AI video of me and my voice. So I just have to put out text and scripts. I have to write anyway, but I don't have to produce with my camera and everything. So this would be a huge win in being able to generate proper content, to be honest.
I think, it's also potentially the future of customer service. Right now, I think the limitation and why we use text kind of chatbots on pages is because we don't have technology like this. But wouldn't it be awesome if you, again, created an image with one of the AI tools of some like fake person, provided a script, used again a voice AI agent to actually voice it out, and then use this technology to actually activate it. So you actually talk to a real person, like a video, you interact, and basically you have that more of a closer to human connection than just speaking to a chatbot, like typing out responses. So, my goodness, can you play out the Mona Lisa one? That was pretty funny.
See, I don't play no Yahtzee. I go pop, 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 pop. My camera's up your cooch. See, I tell the truth from what I see and sell it to Perez Hilty. Don't call me scuzzy, making money. That's my job, celeb photography. What? Hell no, I'm needy. I'm legit, not Sakarazzi. Don't act so hotsy,
So
totsy,
funny.
bitch. I know that you from Jersey.
The eye reactions. It's it's really funny.
Just you see, it also is able to generate video from not only like photorealistic photos, but also from images or emojis or like whatever.
I'm not surprised, not everything lasts. I've broken my heart so many times I stopped keeping track. Talk myself in.
And is also basically able to animate singing, which is also interesting. So pretty interesting stuff. It's not for open use right now, which is good. I think the potential misuse of this. I think nothing of this will be released. Also Sora and stuff like that before after the elections
of
in
course.
the US.
Yeah.
So.
Everyone's so worried about that. Should we dive into another a closely related topic, what Adobe is doing with Sora? Because that's, again, similar, but quite different. And I think that the results that they've shared.
Yeah. I think, is this the video? Wait a second. I have to share. So, Adobe Premiere Pro, that's their editing software. Scanning generative AI video tools. So they have their Adobe Firefly, which is already, I think, implemented right now, and you're able to remove objects and stuff like that.
Yep.
And let's just look through the video.
Adobe is using the power of generative AI to deliver the most advanced and precise editing tools ever in Premiere Pro. Let's take a look at some features coming soon, powered by our new Adobe Firefly video model that'll transform how editors work. One common editing challenge is finding something in a shot you need to add or replace. The Object Addition feature in Premiere Pro, combined with Adobe's Firefly video model, lets you add or change objects in footage with a text prompt. Make a selection, write a prompt, and add anything you can imagine.
I wish I could produce diamonds like that.
Snip of fingers. So you just snap a finger, so you just kind of get a whole suitcase of diamonds.
Like one example that's also cool. They just marked stuff and said remove object
with Firefly. Remove unwanted props, crew or gear, or copyrighted elements like brand logos. And with Premiere Pro, all your edits are non-destructive, so you can always get back to your original footage. When your clip is too short and you want to hold on a shot character for an extra beat, Generative Extend intelligently adds frames with Firefly, extending your footage, so you have the exact media you need. Like here, where we extend this shot of the woman a few frames. As we continue to innovate, we're committed to transparency through the use of content credentials. Now coming to Premiere Pro, so you always know whether AI was used in the creation of the media you're viewing. We can't wait to bring these Firefly-powered video editing workflows to Premiere Pro later this year. And there's more. We're excited to share our explorations around giving editors the choice to use models that work best with their footage. Here are some early examples of how third-party generative AI models could look within Premiere Pro, like Pico, powering Generative Extend to make a scene flow better. From OpenAI, here's an example of their Sora model, currently in early research, generating B-roll for any scene. Through simple text prompts, Sora creates variations for you to choose from.
It's also like matching the tone at least a bit, which is kind of nice.
Here's the same use case now using Runway AI's video model, generating a new video clip and adding it to the timeline in a snap. And content credentials coming to Premiere Pro this year will always make
So I think that's enough to show what this is about.
Oh, it's amazing! I could rewatch this all day.
It's like you can just Google Adobe Premiere Pro and AI video, and then you'll get the stuff. So it can enhance scenes, it can extend scenes, it can generate B-roll on the fly. So if you think about it, what has had to be done to create B-roll? Like people were flying out to like New Zealand, and trying to get the stuff done. So having it just generated or being generated is it's amazing stuff, and it just puts the creativity and creation in front of the process, and not the skill or the budget you have to fly out and make the B-roll.
I think like how contextual it was too. So when again, I don't know if they kind of did this for the demo only, but I was really impressed by like the guy looking out the window and actually gave you the perspective of what he would be looking at, not just like some random view, but it was like dimly lit, so it was like at night. He had the perspective of like a city because it looked like he was part of the city. So I was really impressed actually by the contextualization of the output too.
Yeah, definitely was really cool. So I'm personally I skipped I left Premiere Pro for editing work years ago, mostly because of Adobe's pricing politics. But to be honest, that's something to really look at. I'm pretty sure that everyone else will also come up with some way, shape, or form of this. But good work there from Adobe.
Should we quickly touch on the Boston Dynamics kind of innovation that's just kind of released this week?
So I opened it up on YouTube, on Boston Dynamics YouTube channel. So Boston Dynamics, they had one news this week that they retired their Atlas robots, like Atlas 1. And with that, everyone was wondering why. And then, like, I think a day later or something, they released this video. And that's Atlas 2. And I'll just play it, like 39 seconds. That's so creepy. I think it looks pretty cool. And there it goes.
It's really loud.
Boston Dynamics also adding their own, I think, attempt on the humanoid robot. And I'm kind of excited also that all the humanoid robots are getting so much traction right now, because it's really really something. You can imagine like basically every use case for it. Like it can, like having something like this at home. I'm pretty sure up to 2030. I'm pretty sure that like at least rich households will have some humanoid robot doing stuff for them. They will pay like 200K, but honestly, after 4 years, it's already ROI, right? Because you don't have to pay any butler or something.
Yeah, it pays for itself. But I think it was interesting because I think a few episodes ago, I don't remember which episode we talked about. We were like, okay, well, with all of these new robotics, and I think even NVIDIA kind of now playing in that space too. We're like, where's Boston Dynamics? They've been kind of on the down low, and then they come out and release this. So I think that's kind of the trend now. It's like people just kind of wait it out until like everyone kind of gets their versions of out of the system, and then they just emerge and kill it.
So basically, what they added now, and I was surprised by that, is they have added the all electric motors and stuff like that. So they used also hydraulics back in their old machines, and now they're basically all on electric motors, which is kind of interesting. Real-time perception, model predictive control, so more AI, more of everything, more power, more dynamic, more lightweight. But it's really interesting where the whole stuff is going, and I'm glad to see that like one of the companies in robotics right now, Boston Dynamics, also makes leaps into the direction of humanoid robots. I always was kind of against the idea of a general humanoid robot, but seeing them now, thinking about it in like together with AI in general and the developments, it makes a lot of sense, I think.
I think some things to think about also is that, I think they're going to encounter similar issues as autonomous vehicles. So, I mean, one of the things that kind of the technology space proved out is feasibility. Is it possible to have automated autonomous vehicles? They've proved it out, but the deployment has proven to be quite difficult. And I do think that probably humanoid robots are going to encounter some of the same issues. Yes, is it possible to have these humanoid robots? Right now, it's kind of like trending towards, being able to do more complicated tasks, but they're not at that level. But still, I think once they prove out the feasibility, they have to also consider the viability and the deployment into people's homes and what issues and regulations might come into play in order to enable that to happen. So I do think that there's probably, still some things that they have to conquer before these robots are in the home.
Yeah. I'm not completely with you on that because
you're not.
Because autonomous driving is mostly that difficult because the environment is so much not controlled and uncontrolled. Whereas if you have such a robot in your home, you have a lot less variables. You still have a lot of situations you're not in control of and you have to react to. But it's far less than you have in driving a car around, and mostly you don't have a lot of humans there. So, like if you drive a car, you have you mostly have to look out for all the things other people do, and that's not easy, and that uses a lot of intuition by the driver, which is basically not that easy to accommodate for in autonomous driving. And you don't have this in the. So I'm pretty sure we might see actual sold robots in households before we see autonomous cars.
I'd love to. Yeah. I think we should do an episode of that, but just the fact that you and I have kind of differing opinions, I think it would be a cool episode to discuss, I think, our viewpoints and like dedicate an entire thing to it. Because again, I have some counters to that, but I don't want to drag this episode into like a full hour. But I would love to just invite people to kind of the conversation. So is this a topic that you would love for us to maybe cover in one of the future episodes? If yes, please comment below.
We do new format, the roast.
Oh yeah, robotics. Yeah, but if you don't mind subscribing to continue to support us, like this video, we do this to provide value to you and keep you updated on what's happening kind of in the world of technology and AI. So yeah, I'd invite you to comment below and let us know what other topics you'd like us to cover in kind of our deep dive sessions or any other ideas you guys have.
Yeah. Thanks very much for listening. I hope you found this week's news interesting. We definitely did. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to what we will have from Llama and also from OpenAI as a response in the near future. Maybe we get already some stuff next week. Also, Google I/O is coming near, which will also be interesting. And the summer with all the developer conferences. So there's a lot to come. So stay tuned, subscribe, and comment down below what you want to see, what we maybe missed. So we can,
cover it next
try
week.
to be more close to your needs.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. And if you really enjoyed this episode, there's more to watch on our channel. So click this next video and we'll see you next week.